effect of the Eriksson incident against Finland. Playing for their captain, that's you could say that, AJ.
Those kind of incidents could give you a hero or zero effect. You could have the whole team playing just to make sure that their captain is happy, or it could have an effect where everyone is heartbroken. We saw it happen to Brazil when Neymar got injured and Brazil couldn't pick up the pieces. But this time around, the Danes know that they've got to do it for the captain, they have to do it for the team, they have to just get themselves right, and they're playing exactly what they want to do. They're playing Belgium, they're controlling the midfield, controlling the fact that defense have barely been troubled as it stands. Maybe, just maybe, it's the captain effect. The captain is out and they're playing for him, they're playing to show him that he can do it.
Just taking us through the goal for the Danes. Emil Højbjerg winning the ball just at the edge of the Belgian area before setting up Josef Poulsen, who applied the all-important touch. Here's Romelu Lukaku unable to control as Dries Mertens was looking to release him down the right-hand side. Denmark in control. Here is Vestergaard. Infield down to Per-Emil Højbjerg, who finds Martin Braithwaite on the left-hand side. Back to Meili. Long switching ball, searching for Braithwaite, recovered by Belgium. Now Yannick Carrasco shifts the ball down to the right-hand side, finds Thomas Meunier. Ball is back in the Belgian half with the centre-backs, Jan Vertonghen. Here is Torgen Hazard. Yuri Tillemans robbed off the ball. Now Vass in possession for the Danes. It's Josef Poulsen. You could see what the Danes are trying to do, trying to suffocate the Belgians and release the pace of Poulsen and Braithwaite anytime they can with forward balls. Has worked for them.
It has worked for them, and it's a lot of pressure on what looks like the weakest link at this point. I'm talking about Benaya. He's not able to clear his lines very well. He's been the one who's most shaken in defense. Vertonghen has been quite a bit stronger than the rest of his central defense pairing, but to be out of right on Benaya, we've been shaken. It brings about the question of, is it Kevin De Bruyne a big miss yet? Do they need that creative force? Because we haven't seen a lot of Lukaku. He's not gotten enough balls. We saw him come back to try and chase the ball, but he didn't get that ball, and he instead had the ball taken away from him.
Yeah, great show of sportsmanship. We're on to the 10th minute, and play has been stopped temporarily in honour of Christian Eriksen, who of course wears the number 10 jersey for Denmark. Both sides had reached this agreement prior to the game. It's great to see, isn't it? Some might make arguments, but sportsmanship is something that reminds us all of the friendship in football, irrespective of the competitive nature of the game.
Yes, that's exactly what it is, a game. At times we do forget that it is a game, and a game means that it's not something that's supposed to be friendly, and it's not a do or die affair, and so it's a man who was fighting for his life, who some would even argue lost his life and then he was brought back to life. I think this is a celebration of a man who got his life back.
Jan Vertonghen in control for Belgium as play has resumed. After a quick gesture to Christian Eriksen. Belgium still not ticking. Things haven't quite gone according to the bookmakers' prediction. Everyone that I spoke to, given this game to Belgium, given their vastly superior performance against Russia, that football again isn't played on paper, and so far after 11 minutes it is Denmark on top, as Belgium are searching for a response now. Jan Vertonghen would find Yannick Carrasco into Torgen Hazard. Here is Torgen again, sends the ball into the path of Romelu Lukaku. Looked to have been crowded out, yes indeed, crowded out, and Vass wins the ball for Belgium, but Belgium recover quickly and trying to unleash the pace of Romelu Lukaku up front, but wasn't to be, as Kasper Schmeichel, as ever, alas, the race of his line to got it quite comfortably.
We recall that some of the goals that were scored by the Belgian side were gifts. Basically gifts that the Russian gave out.
Oh, it's a chance. Yusuf Poulsen sending the ball forward, looking for Damsgaard. A quick play yet again, NG, by Denmark, almost paying dividends for the second time in the game.
It was Munier who actually was alert to posting the danger that was there. It was Munier who was able to rattle him and stop him from getting a perfect shot. Just a few inches, a few centimeters away, and that would have been a second goal for the Danish side. It was quick thinking, and good awareness from Munier, who was able to just read that pass well and put enough pressure 2-0, and that would have been Belgium having to work hard again. As I said, you will recall that in the game against Russia also gave out gifts to this Belgian side and made that game look the way it was.
Martin Braithwaite twisting and turning with a low cross into the box, searching for Damsgaard. Wasn't to be. It's Denmark are all over Belgium at the moment. Belgium finds a reprieve with a throw-in down the left-hand side of their own half of the pitch, taken by Torgan Hazard. Torgan. We quickly giving away. It's a throw now for Denmark. Vars is going over to the touchline to collect. Yusuf Poulsen, Braithwaite and Damsgaard alongside Højbjerg. And of course Vars have been very effective for Denmark so far, as they keep possession by taking the ball all the way back to Kasper Schmeichel.
Maybe the 3-5-2 formation at the moment is failing them. Just maybe the three central defenders and the three at the back is failing them, because Jan Ventogen was actually twisted quite quickly and quite neatly by Poulsen, and in fact he left him for dead. I think there's lots of thought that's going into Martinez's brain at this point as to how to solve this problem, because Belgians are in 6s and 7s.
Yeah, certainly in 6s and 7s, unable to retain the ball, especially in the midfield area. Pounded every single time they touch it by men in red, which is of course what the Danes are wearing this afternoon. Well, it's 15 minutes past 5 local time in Nigeria, so Kalela would forgive me if I switch to evening now.
You're well and truly forgiven. I think, yes, okay, you're forgiven. It's past 4 o'clock.
Vars into Poulsen, Braithwaite. Now Højbjerg releasing Poulsen. Damsgaard in. So, a wasteful effort by Yusuf Poulsen when in good position to send across right across the face of the Belgian goal, with Damsgaard running in support. That's a wasted chance.
That's quite embarrassing. I mean, of all the choices he had to make, he made a very wrong choice. I mean, there were so many choices he could make, but he made that very wrong choice. He was able to actually shake off his marker quite cleanly. And I think what's quite telling of this is that the Belgians, still even when they get balls, are not able to hold on to their own possession.
Meili finds the head of Braithwaite at the near post. The Barca striker level to guide his header onto goal, and in the end it's off target, but Denmark yet again close to making it a second even before 20 minutes.
There's also talk about the Danish not having a proper strikers. They don't have top 9, they don't have good strikers. It doesn't look that way. It doesn't look that way at this point in time. Braithwaite looks quite good on the money. He's been that kind of front man that that Lukaku would want to be in this game. He's been quite strong on the money. He's quite strong as a battering ram. He's been quite good in front of goal, and having the other two players that are playing on the wings and supplying that ball means that the 3-man defense for the Belgian side are finding it difficult to be able to handle the attack of Poulsen, Damsgaard and Braithwaite.
Damsgaard to Meili for the first time. Meili comes off second in a contest up against Thomas Meunier. Denmark bossing proceedings so far. Here is Vars into Yusuf Poulsen. Poulsen will lose the ball to Leander Den Donker. Alderweireld all the way back to Thibaut Courtois. Courtois will launch the ball forward, searching for Romelu Lukaku. Yannick Vestergaard is keeping eyes on the Inter Milan forward. Yannick Vestergaard wins it. Kier into Andres Christensen. Christensen to Martin Braithwaite. Hoybier. Switching the ball now to Vestergaard. Simon Kier, the captain, now switching back to Christensen. Christensen with a long ball looking to release Yusuf Poulsen. Jan Vertonghen would hoof the ball forward and give the ball back to the Danes, who would regain possession via a throw, which will be taken by Daniel Vass. Daniel Vass, the game against Finland, played as a full-back. His combative character as a player has certainly helped the course of the Danes in midfield, where he is deputising for the ill Christian Eriksen. Christensen. The ball across the midfield area now. Back to Andres Christensen. It's a ball searching for Poulsen, but didn't quite happen for Delaney, the number 8 for Denmark.
The good news for Belgium is that they've scored at least one goal in the last 31 games. The last team who stopped them from scoring that was France in the 2018 World Cup semi-final. So they'll be thinking they'll be able to get goals in this game. That would be the good news for the Belgian side. They have goals in them. There'll be some bad news maybe, but the good news is that they have enough players to get goals.
Here is Torgan Hazard looking to free up Yannick Carrasco. There's a lot of space in the midfield area for Belgium. Tillemans and Dendonka unable to cope with the pressure from the Danes. Are they lacking a ball retainer at the centre of the park?
You actually wondering why this is happening this way, because in the last game Dendonka and Tillemans did a good job of passing around and just generally retaining possession. So it's quite strange to see this happen in this game. What you'll be thinking about is, instead of a ball retainer, they'll actually be looking for someone who's going to be more creative, because as I noted in the last game, they only completed one pass into the penalty area in the game against Russia. Only one pass into the penalty area, and even their wing backs that they used, because of the 3-man defender they played, their wing backs did not even successfully put any cross in, and that would be a worry. So Belgium's worry will be creating chances that they could score from.
Certainly haven't created much so far in the game. It's mostly being about Denmark, who are in possession now. In the middle of the park, here is Hoybier. Hoybier with a long searching ball looking for Martin Braithwaite. Braithwaite given the chase up against Torgan Hazard and captain Jan Vertonghen. He would lose out the Barcelona forward, 30 years of age now. Tillemans into Yannick Carrasco. Vertonghen to Jackson Denier has come into the Belgian starting 11, replacing Dedrick Boyata, who did well against Artem Zuba of Russia in the first game, where the Belgians ran riot 3-0. Tillemans. Yannick Carrasco into Torgan Hazard in 6s and 7s. They thought they had lost the ball, but referee Bjorn Kuipers sounds his whistle for a handball against Andres Christensen. Belgium in control in the shape and form of Yuri Tillemans driving forward. Frees up Toby Alderweireld in the right-hand side of the midfield area. He would find Thomas Meunier. Meunier with a ball into the box, searching for Romelu Lukaku, wouldn't find him. Instead would pick out the opposition's goalkeeper Kasper Schmeichel.
The younger Hazard has seen a lot of balls today, but not much quality has come into it. Meunier also has not put in anything. He's slightly looking like a man frustrated, and he's only in the 23rd minute that talking about Romelu Lukaku. He needs more quality balls to be able to at least put pressure on the central defenders on him. But so far so good. We're yet to see any of that.
Speaking of Thorgan Hazard, he's always going to be looked at as the younger Hazard, but he is 28 years of age, just 2 years younger than Eden.
And having himself a very good career as it stands. Maybe not enough trophies compared to his elder brother. Maybe not enough trophies, but certainly he's having a good time right there in Borussia Dortmund. So younger Hazard, yeah, but also having a proper career in and of itself.
Proper career. Thorgan Hazard, born on the 29th of March 1993, started his career at Lens in France, before moving to Chelsea alongside his brother Eden. Loan spells at Zulte Waregem and Borussia Mönchengladbach, on his way to becoming now a starter for Borussia Dortmund. Here is Vass, marked by Thorgan. Vass will spread the ball to Yannick Vestergaard. Denmark. It is the man in red bossing precedence. A long searching ball looking to free up Poulsen, but couldn't quite connect. Vestergaard, the Southampton centre-back, guilty of the misplaced pass. As Belgium are searching for options, trying to play out of the back. Jan Vertonghen has to be careful as Yannick Carrasco looks to shake off his marker, finds Thomas Meunier. Meunier in midfield now, finding Leander Dendoncker. Dendoncker will lose the ball, recovered by Denmark. Carrasco. His hands suggesting that his teammates are not opening up for him to find spaces to release the ball. Yuri Tillemans to number 18, Jason Denayer. Meunier. Dries Mertens, didn't see much of him against Russia. Haven't seen much of him today, the Napoli forward, have we?
We haven't created much, but then we can actually say we haven't seen much of the Belgian players apart from Thorgan Hazard. Let alone are probably hiding somewhere. Someone's got to take this game by the scruff of the neck, and I think Yannick Carrasco had decided that maybe he'll be the one to play that part at this time. But Dries Mertens, Romelu Lukaku, there's a big disconnect between the midfield, between the defense and the midfield. They're not able to get those passes away, and the defense of Belgium have been, of course, the suspect. But what the Denmark defense has done is that any ball that tries to come in to split the defense and hand the ball to Lukaku has been cut off, snuffed off immediately. Any chance of it comes in.
Damsgaard all the way back to his midfield to take possession. Kia will send the ball to defense partner Yannick Vestergaard, who is strolling forward past the halfway line. Still Vestergaard into Delaney. Delaney settles it for Meili. Here are the Danes coming forward into Martin Braithwaite. Vass with a strike at goal, looking to catch Thibaut Courtois unawares, but didn't quite have the accuracy to achieve the intended results. But Vass as effective as always.
Maybe he have the exact deep he wanted, maybe deep at the right time, and he would have forced the goalkeeper into a save. He's been quiet in the last 3 minutes, but he's allowed a bit of downtime considering the kind of pressure he's put on the Belgian side. Because Vass, you could argue, has been the best player on the pitch today.
I think so as well. Here come the Danes. Højbjerg searching ball, looking for Yusuf Poulsen. Delaney with the follow-up, but ball will trickle away in the far right hand side, and it's going to be a Belgian throw to be taken by Thomas Meunier. Meunier, of course, in the side due to the injury to Leicester City wing-back Timothy Castagne. A clash of heads against Russia, meaning he had fractured an eye socket and will miss the rest of the tournament. Still Denmark driving forward. Damsgaard winning the throw for the Danes. So much energy for the men in red. The Belgians in white looking still dumbfounded. Not knowing how to respond to what has struck them so far in the game.
I think Denmark have actually reacted very well to that loss against Finland. The Højbjerg's penalty miss must have hurt a lot, not as much as the Eriksson incident, but Højbjerg missing that penalty that could have put them 1-1 against Finland probably would have hurt them, and they know they have the quality to go on and get something out of this competition, get to the next round, and that's what they're doing right here. There's not fear for Belgium. They did not come with any respect for the Belgian side, and that also brings the question what you started with earlier on, playing at home with competition just maybe is a big advantage, because this Denmark in their second home game in Copenhagen, and they have all the support of the fans, so just maybe it's a big advantage. Remember also Belgium had to travel from Russia when they played their first game, and travel to Denmark for this game also, and Denmark haven't done any bit of traveling. They've played 2 games consecutively at home. Could that be an advantage when it comes to these Euros?
Possibly it could be. The Danes are playing like men possessed, playing for 3 points, playing for the Copenhagen fans, and also playing for Christian Eriksen. And so far so good after almost 30 minutes. They are of course leading the Belgians a goal to nil. Well walked goal of the feet of Pierre-Emile Højbjerg into the path of Yusuf Poulsen, the RB Leipzig man who tucked the ball away beyond Thibaut Courtois. And Denmark could be in for more goals as Daniel Vass is going to swing the ball into the opposition's 18-yard area from the left hand side with a lean swinger of a free kick. Poulsen, Damsgaard, Vestergaard all in the box. Wouldn't pick anyone out, as he would only find the arms of Thibaut Courtois, who was looking to release his teammates for the counter-attack. It's Yannick Carrasco looking to correct, but won't happen for the Atletico Madrid forward. But at least Belgium have a throw-in to show for their efforts.
Lots of argy-bargy, but I think one of the things we agree that the refs in this competition have refused to be conned in any way. It's been quite a brilliantly refereed competition. We've not seen calls where we have a lot of disagreements about. In fact, I think the only call there's been a bit of talk was this Denmark game, that penalty that was awarded to Denmark, and that was where some people felt that was a soft call. But when it comes to the offside calls, when it comes to the yellow cards, and when it comes to fouls and what have you, penalties or should be penalties, I think the refs have had it quite correct, and so the ref was able to get conned by all of that going around in 18-yard box.
I have been impressed with the officiating so far. No scandals as of yet. The video assistant referee technology being applied optimally so far. It's Belgium looking to play out of the back, looking at the centre of the pack. It's crowded by red shirts, no options. So much energy, that's what the Danes are showing. And Belgium, of course, having a game they must not have anticipated. But here is Yannick Carrasco, taking and tossing up against the brilliant Vass, looking to trick his way through, but would win a corner kick for the Belgians.
Could that be their first corner kick? I think that should be their first corner kick.
Surely it is.
That shows how bad they've been in the defence.
Here's the man who won the corner kick, Carrasco, travelling over to the touchline to have a crack at it, go short. I never really get to understand why you line up players in the box and decide to take it short. That's exactly what Belgium have done, and it's a chance to score through a set piece has gone to waste. But they will still win a throw. The same position from where Carrasco took the corner kick. And when he did, it's another corner kick on the bounce. As the ball has been adjudged to have crossed over the other line. Here's Carrasco with an in-swinger. This time he goes long and into the box, searching for Romelu Lukaku and the likes, but Schmeichel will punch out. Here is Denmark looking to break. It wouldn't happen till Lemons interrupts. As Torgan Hazard is with the ball. into Tillemans, goes all the way back to Delaney. Denaya, I should say. The Lyon centre-back. Thomas Mounier on the overlap. Whips in the cross into the box. Captain Simon Kjær heads away for Denmark.
A bit better from the Belgian side now. A bit about 2 or 3 minutes of consistent attacking fluidity from this Belgian side right now. They're asking a bit more questions. 2 corners on the bounce and still on the Danish part of the half, and they'll be hoping to get something out of it. But just as I speak, there's a poor touch back, and they've just lost the corner that they took.
Thomas Mounier with a goal and assist in Belgium's first game in the Euro 2020 tournament, assisting Romelu Lukaku with a brilliant darting run through the midfield before getting his own goal as well. An inspired substitution, albeit forced on Roberto Martinez after Castagne went off injured. Here's Meili. Poulsen goes up to win it. Ball is bobbling in and around the centre of the park. Here is Daniel Vass with pace coming forward. Wins the ball, looking to switch it. And pick out Yussuf Poulsen. Romelu Lukaku has barely had a sniff, a sandwich between Vestergaard and Kjær.
A lot more has to be done to bring those Mertens into this game, because if Mertens is able to see some of the possession of the ball, then it means that something could fall out for Romelu Lukaku. But as it stands now, most of the passes, most of the touches, most of the brilliant moves from this Danish side. They're asking all of the questions. They're not letting up at all. They're not in any way.
Take the ball into the box by Damsgaard. What a run! But in the end, he would count for nothing but more brilliance from the Danes, and of course Kasper Hulmans, their coach, is quite appreciative of Damsgaard's efforts, almost catching Thibaut Courtois on the near post.
Quite good from him, because he slammed on himself inside the 18-yard box and beat 1 or 2 markers, and then he had Thibaut Courtois stretching to all his limits, and Courtois still didn't get his hands to it. He was just lucky that that ball just narrowly missed the target. But this comes just as Belgium had actually been on hand to create more from their sides. Even as there was also another chance, Lukaku was able to win the ball off his marker, but somehow or the other he did not get it right. Just Mertens also, who got that touch, was not able to trouble the goalkeeper with it. I think a bit more of Lukaku into this game, a bit more of just Mertens, and then the Belgian side will have something. But let's look at them, like the Danish side. They've been quite brilliant. Vass has been quite good. This Poulsen has been difficult to handle. Martin Braithwaite, who a lot of people think is surplus requirements in the Barcelona side, have shown why you need a number 9. He's been quite good on the sides, knocking at the doors, making sure that Ventogen and the likes Ventogen, Denaya and Adewai are not finding it easy. They have to try and control the 3 of them. Poulsen, Damsgaard and Braithwaite are a handful for the centre backs of this Belgian side.
Certainly, and Roberto Martinez, the coach of Belgium, would have to dig deep into his tank to find solutions to the Danish problem, because they are being run over at the moment. All facets of the game at the moment belong to Denmark. Meili, Højbjerg, Vass, Poulsen, Damsgaard, Braithwaite, all brilliant so far, as we are 9 minutes away from the end of the first 45. Vass sending the ball now. Delaney giving the chase. It's the Denmark number 8 with a cross into the box, searching for Yussuf Poulsen. Poulsen would gather the ball, but not in time for an effective second touch, as Yannick Vestergaard would concede the throw for Denmark.
If you're a betting man, you'd be thinking that Denmark still have another goal in them. For Denmark and Belgium, they've met 3 times in the last 2 years, and Belgium have won 2 of those games. I think it was 4-2 and 2-0. But if you're a betting man, you'll be thinking that Denmark will have more goals than them. It's just that Belgium haven't failed to score in their last 31 games, and so they may be able to create something. But we'll have to start thinking anytime soon, at what point will Martinez be thinking of bringing in Kevin De Bruyne or bringing in Eden Hazard? Because that is a question that has to be answered. if Belgium continue like this without creating anything, without bringing in their strikers, without not anything for Lukaku and Dries Mertens to feed on, then they will have to bring in more creative force. That's a question that has to be answered.
Certainly 5 substitutions. So there's 5 substitutes available for Roberto Martinez, and his sport for choice really. Eden Hazard on the bench, Kevin De Bruyne on the bench, Axel Witsel named in the squad as well after recovering from injury. He also has Dennis Praet of Tottenham Hotspur, Christian Benteke of Crystal Palace, Michy Batshuayi in the fold, as well as Leandro Trossard of Brighton and Hove Albion. These are the talents he could call upon to change the dynamics of the game for Belgium. At the moment it's all Denmark still in possession. Christensen, Damsgaard all the way back for a centre forward. He is quite mobile, drifting into midfield to form the extra body for the Danes at the middle of the park, which is of course a bit of why they have managed to dominate that sector of the game so far. Hazard throwing into Romelu Lukaku. Dries Mertens in space. Meunier is in support. He uses him. Meunier with a chance to run at the Danish defender, perhaps whipping across, finds the support in Dries Mertens. Here's Toby Alderweireld, long ball into the box, searching for Yannick Carrasco, but Vestergaard will head forward. And the chance pitters away as Belgium go all the way back to their own half of the pitch to resume proceedings with a throw taken by Toby Alderweireld into Thibaut Courtois. Jan Vertonghen. Torgan Hazard. No options forward. Retreats yet again to Jan Vertonghen. Meunier. Losing out to the Danes, but referee Cooper sounds the whistle for a foul on Meunier by Yannick Vestergaard, no less. And what do you call, isn't it?
I think it's maybe just a breather, because when it comes to this 50-50 calls, it's gone most of the Danes' way, and that's because they've been quite brilliant and intelligent with the way they win the balls off the Belgian side. It was a good call for the referee for that foul on the Belgian side, but by and large, as it stands, the Danes have been quite intelligent and quite good in how they've broken the attacks, any of the attacks that the Belgians have put up. You also have to think that the Belgians themselves have been quite complicit. They haven't been able to spread passes. I don't think they've been able to consistently keep passes together for a stretch of 2 or 3 minutes. They keep breaking up in those passes.
Interesting analysis from NG Kalela, dissecting the game as it were so far. It's been all Denmark as we are up to 40 minutes. 5 minutes more to play, in addition to whatever Kuipers decides to add to the proceedings. Here is Jason Denayer, the Lyon centre-back, unmistakable in his free-flowing hair. Finds Jan Vertonghen. Vertonghen will switch to Torgan Hazard. Brilliant ball into Romelu Lukaku in space. Carrasco in support. Couldn't quite pick out the run of the Atletico Madrid winger. Here is Damsgaard. Damsgaard dribbling through. Ball had gone out of play, and Belgium will have a throw. Chasing Denayer. Jan Vertonghen back to Jason Denayer. Denayer would find Toby Alderweireld. Toby retreats once more to Denayer, who looks to insert some urgency into the Belgian game, but couldn't find options forward, and it's backward passes in succession by the Belgians. That's what it is, as the Danes have forced them to go back, but now they come forward through Romelu Lukaku, who is staying strong, the Inter Milan forward. Now Belgium have the first real opening of the game. Lukaku looking to find Dries Mertens, and a final touch lacking, as Meili losing out to Dries Mertens. Referee Cooper's waves play to go on. Romelu Lukaku up against Simon Kjær, And the Danish captain gives away the free kick in a very interesting position for Belgium.
It's one of the reasons I've been asking for Lukaku to see a bit more of the ball. If the ball gets to him, he's that big, strong striker you want. He's like a battering ram when it comes to central defenders. You have to literally wrestle him down, which Simon Kjær had to do. Literally wrestle him down to get the ball off him, and that's exactly what it is. He won the first ball. The first one he won, he got. The first one he was fouled, and the referee allowed him to play on because he got up from it and controlled the ball. And then Simon Kjær knew that he had to take him down because he was proven to be quite difficult to handle. Get that ball to Lukaku in dangerous areas, and he's going to be able to take the defenders on and create chances for, even if he doesn't score, for the rest of the pack, for someone like maybe Dries Mertens or even Carrasco to get that ball. He's tried it a few times, even though it hasn't worked.
Oh, just about 30 minutes or so of goal. It's Yannick Carrasco. Not too far to have a cracker goal. We'll see what option he selects. Has a cracker goal indeed, but is across the face of goal. That wasn't a direct shot at goal. It was looking to perhaps pick out a Belgian head in the box.
It didn't look like that. It looked like he had too much power. It looked like he was going directly for goal, and you could see the disgust and the look of the likes of Lukaku. Felt he should have actually have played it in for someone to head it. It looked like he was going directly for goal, and it looked like he had picked the spot, but he was way off and snuffed off all of that danger. Maybe if he had put it in, just maybe someone could have attacked it with the head. Lukaku could have attacked it with his head. Maybe not Mertens, but at least Lukaku would have tried to get something out of it. That was a poor choice by Yannick Carrasco.
Well, chances coming far in between for Belgium. They would need to make the most out of the scraps that they're managing to create so far. Interestingly, Kalela, it is Belgium with 52% of the ball to Denmark's 48%, but watching the game in itself, you could hardly tell that this is really the way the position starts ringing.
52-48 is basically 50-50, just 4% separating, so it's not like Belgium have been overrunning the Danes. For the Danes, they've been playing quite intelligently. Lars Højbjerg and Delaney have been so brilliant when talking about holding that midfield, containing Torgan Hazard, Dundaka, Tillmans and Meunier, and making them have to work hard and not even seeing the ball. Quite intelligent play by the Danish side.
Belgium win the ball in a very important area, looking to break on the counter-attack. But it's a one-man stride by Yannick Carrasco, brought to an end by Simon Kjær. Brilliant in possession.
You have to applaud, you really have to applaud how the Danish have made sure every time Belgium have the ball, they make sure they break the attack. They're quite good in coming together, having two players at this point in time when there's a danger man who has that ball, whether it's Dries Mertens, whether it's Lukaku, anyone who has that ball. The defense of the depth are so awake that they make sure they break the pass. Either he can't even get to touch the ball, or he can't get to cross that ball, whoever is in position at that point.
It is a wayward effort just a moment ago by Martin Braithwaite. Meili screaming that he was open for a pass, but of course Braithwaite wouldn't spot him as Kjær is up against Lukaku. Kjær wins it, though in the process conceding a throw in a potentially dangerous area. Belgium can summon Thomas Meunier to launch a long one into the box as we are into the added time, a minute of added time in the game, of which a lot of it has already been played. Expecting the centre referee Kuipers to sound the whistle for half-time any moment, and yes indeed he does. It is a half-time at the Parken Stadium in Copenhagen, and it is the team tipped to be emotionally troubled who have shaking it off apparently with the way they have been playing, and beating the favourites coming into the game, Belgium, by a goal to nil. Yusuf Poulsen to thank for the opener, but the Danes look relentless and have been pressuring Belgium from the start up until the end of the 45. And it's been an absolute pleasure describing this one for you as we take a short time out, and when we come back, halftime analysis will ensue. Stay tuned.
but football never sleeps. Enter the UEFA European Football Championship. The pandemic could only delay, but never deny the fans the excitement they crave as the Euros take center stage. It's Euro 2020 in 2021, a tournament with a difference, with scenes all over the European continent, traversing state lines and capitals, from Rome to Baku, St. Petersburg, Amsterdam, Bucharest, Glasgow, Copenhagen, Seville, Munich and London. The coverage is global and the cast nationwide.
They seem to keep hold of the ball, see so much of the ball, but at the end of the day, they tend to do little or nothing with the ball.
Throws it into the box. It's in.
A player who's been having a renaissance of a season.
He connected to the pass like a socket. Fired the shots like a rocket.
From no other person but Rafael Varane.
What they want to do is sit back, where your weaknesses, and then when they get the ball, they try to attack you.
It was a brilliant piece of play by Karim Benzema. They decide against that counter-attack and go all the way back.
That's beautiful. Trent Alexander-Arnold, 38 meters. This is your goal of the week.
When you defend, you can defend for 91 minutes, and just for 1 minute, everything will change.
He completes his hat trick. He's in the pursuit of perfection.
Best days are behind him already, and the young managers are picking up the man.
Covering every blade of grass for a full month from 11th June to 11th July 2021 on Nigeria's #1 radio station for sports and talk, Nigeria Info. Reach out for sponsorship and advertising. Euro 2020 on Nigeria Info. It's live football, just the way you like it.
Live from the city of Port Harcourt, we bring you news reliable, talk transformative, and sports at its best. Listen to experts only on your #1 news, talk, and sports radio station,
92.3 Nigeria Info. The European club football season is over, but football never sleeps. Enter the UEFA European Football Championship. The pandemic could only delay, but never deny the fans the excitement they crave as the Euros take center stage. It's Euro 2020 in 2021, a tournament with a difference, with scenes all over the European continent, traversing state lines and capitals, from Rome to Baku, St. Petersburg, Amsterdam, Bucharest, Glasgow, Copenhagen, Seville, Munich and London. The coverage is global and the cast nationwide.
They seem to keep hold of the ball, see so much of the ball, but at the end of the day, they tend to do little or nothing with the ball.
Throws it into the box. It's in.
A player who's been having a renaissance of a season.
He connected to the pass like a socket. Fired the shots like a rocket.
From no other person but Rafael Varane.
What they want to do is sit back, where your weaknesses, and then when they get the ball, they try to attack you.
It was a brilliant piece of play by Karim Benzema. They decide against that counter-attack and go all the way back.
That's beautiful. Trent Alexander-Arnold, 38 meters. This is your goal of the week.
When you defend, you can defend for 91 minutes, and just for 1 minute, everything will change.
He completes his hat trick. He's in the pursuit of perfection.
Best days are behind him already, and the young managers are picking up the man.
Covering every blade of grass for a full month from 11th June to 11th July 2021 on Nigeria's #1 radio station for sports and talk, Nigeria Info. Reach out for sponsorship and advertising. Euro 2020 on Nigeria Info. It's live football, just the way you like it.
exciting game it's been. For a game that is just 1-0, we've been filled with lots of excitement, and it's mainly because the Danes are creating quite a lot of chances. 8 shots on goal, 3 on target. Quite brilliant they have been. Well, if I were Kasper Holman, the coach of Denmark, I wouldn't change a thing. If it's not broken, why fix it? It's a bit cliche to say, but look, the Danes are nothing but brilliant. They have been. Why change such a team that have been playing nearly to perfection? But if I were Roberto Martinez, I'll be certainly worried. Let's look at his options on the bench, NG. What should Roberto Martinez do to turn things around? Because things could get quite tricky if they don't react, and the Danes played the way they played in the first. It could get quite tricky for Belgium ultimately in the group where all the teams will now have 3 points.
I think first things first, they're being overrun in the midfield. Overrun in the sense that they're second to the balls, or even when it comes to basic challenges, the Danes end up taking that balls first time. So I'll be wondering, could Kevin De Bruyne do it for me? Could he, just with one pass, one flick of his feet, which we know he knows how to do, one flick of his foot, and he tears the defense apart? Could he be able to do that? That's a big question, and he'll be thinking that one way or the other, before this game ends, Kevin De Bruyne is going to come in, because what we think is lacking is creativity. You'll be also wanting, should he go to the 4-man defense so that they wouldn't be using those wings? Because effectively what's been happening is Poulsen and Vance have been using the wings, and they've been going through those wings. So does he go and play? Does he go back to 4-man defense where he's got 2 fullbacks, and so it won't be that easy? They will have to meet those fullbacks, and then have to meet before they get to see the center defenders and be in front of the goalkeeper. Does he put in 1 defender so that he has 4 defenders there and plug in those numbers? So it will be difficult for the likes of, because it means that Munier and Tugendhazen are supposed to collapse to help the 3 men back. They're not doing that very well. So does he get a 4th defender, a fullback to come in and try and just make the 4 defenders there? Does he do that? That's another thing to do. But the biggest problem that they're not creating, that's number 1. The second problem, they're also being second to all of that ball. So if I was Martinez, I'm talking to him about being stronger and more robust when it comes to playing in the midfield. Attack the balls also. Don't wait for the Danes to get that ball. But for Denmark, the scoreline actually flatters Belgium. The Danes could have actually had 2 or 3 goals early in the first half, including that header by Poulsen that Couture stretched and saved, and even the other ball that Couture couldn't even get his hands to, but somehow or other it just trickled away from getting inside the 18 yard, inside the box. So the scoreline actually does flatter the Belgians, and it means that the Belgians still have a chance to come back into this game. They've got goals in them, and you've got Mitsubashwai also on the bench, and then you've got Christian Benteke, players who know that can also score goals. those areas, take a chance on it, try and win those balls, and if you do that, you only get a chance to keep creating, and of course try to open up for Lukaku, who all of us know is that big, strong attacking force.
Lukaku setting it for Kevin De Bruyne, shapes and stocks it in. It's the equaliser for Belgium. Talk about an impact substitution. It is Kevin De Bruyne setting it up for Torgan Hazard on the plate. And the Belgian number 16 obliges talking it away perfectly. And the Belgians are level. We talked about his class coming in as a substitute, and he has delivered quite brilliantly well, Kevin De Bruyne.
With everything I talked about that needs to be done, you needed someone to free Lukaku. That was Lukaku. Two markers on him, clean up by Lukaku, shake them off, just like them off like a disease, and with hands that ball back to Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne wasn't going to miss the pass of Torgan Hazard, just touches it once, takes away two defenders, and then touches it for Torgan Hazard, and it's 1-1. But brilliant play all around. First time from Lukaku, who was able to first of all take away his marker, gets that ball to Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne had three players on him, beats them, and sent it to Torgan Hazard, who tapped it in. It may look easy, as we love to call tap-ins, but everything about that play was brilliant in his execution.
Oh, how good is he, Kevin De Bruyne, just on the pitch for minutes, and he's made the difference. Brought an aspect of the game that has been lacking for Belgium through the first 45 up until his introduction, and it's 1-1 in a flash. And the Danes, for all their hard work and good work, have been undone by a flash of brilliance by the Belgian number 7, who teed up the number 16, Torgan Hazard, for his first goal of Euro 2020.
You'd want that, exactly what you want him to do for you, and exactly what he's done. It's first things first about making those challenges in the middle of the pack. They were allowing the Danes to make all of those challenges in the first half and winning all of those balls. Right now, they're not scared of making those challenges, they're not scared of getting a look at, and they're doing that, and that's where it came from. It came from making those challenges, picking that ball, and then it came from using the strength of Lukaku, able to beat his marker, then the brilliance of Kevin De Bruyne to also shake off those who are on him. A first touch, a beautiful touch, gives it to that man talking about Torgan Hazard, who had a very good first half. And what do we have? The game in our hands. That's not to say the Danes are out of it.
And certainly, if you thought the Danes would shrink after being pegged, they haven't. They have a corner kick, and it is that man Vass, a take this time an outswinger, searching for Simon Kjær, Paulsen, and of course Braithwaite, all of whom have made their way to the Belgian area. Goes short, Vass to Dumfries. Dumfries sends across into the box. It's too deep. It's headed away. It's a race and looks to have been won by Belgium through Kevin De Bruyne, but referee Coopers and Judge Torgan Hazard to have been the one to have fouled the Danish player, and as a result Belgium will lose the chance to hit quickly on the counter-attack.
My first look of it actually thought it was also a foul by the Dane side. I did think that was my first look of it, and I'm wondering what the referee saw, that he ended up calling that back. And the Belgians did not shout because they thought they had the advantage, and quite shocking that in the end the referee called that ball back for Denmark. Even the second look, even the reviews of it hasn't convinced me that it was a Danish foul. I did think the Belgians won that foul, and they should have been given a chance to play advantage.
Well, the Danes would certainly be delighted by Coopers' decision. They could even have one better, as they have been awarded a free kick to be taken by Vass. Vass goes short into Delaney. Bit of an improvisation. Delaney with a flash. It's blocked by Torgan Hazard. Now Lukaku can race forward. Romelu Lukaku looking to bulldoze his way forward. And it is Vass taking one for the team, and it's certainly going to be a booking, the very first one of the game, but a professional foul, that's what they call it. He took one for the team.
Interesting, really interesting, as when the Belgians had to match the Danes on the pitch, in the midfield, match them, foul for foul, tackle for tackle. You could see the Danes now going in for not making tackles. Was it one for the team? Maybe not. I think we could have just allowed that to flow. I think could have gotten the ball out, could have gotten that ball earlier, or should have allowed someone to take that ball off him if he couldn't do that. But well, it's done, and the Belgians have a choice free kick.
Second substitution Eden Hazard has come on for Yannick Carrasco. And Axel Witsel has also been introduced for Wolverhampton Wanderers' Leander Dendonka. And we did say before that Roberto Martinez was indeed spoiled for choice on the bench, and look at the options he has managed to exercise. Axel Witsel, Eden Hazard and Kevin De Bruyne.
That's some big guns you have to bring off the bench. That's some very big guns. First of all, you brought in Kevin De Bruyne off that bench. That's a big gun. Then you have the pleasure of bringing in Eden Hazard. I think they'll be hoping for the pre-Real Madrid Eden Hazard. They'll be hoping for the Eden Hazard that shows up for Belgium. If that's the Hazard that is on the pitch tonight, I think the Belgians will take something out of it. But for the Danes, I think the first thing for them, they shouldn't allow the Belgians to overrun them, and they shouldn't even, the way they've been doing, not allowing the names of the Belgians to intimidate them. I think the Danes have to do that because they need this win. A draw may not be enough. A win means that they have a fighting chance, even if it means to go in as the third best. So they need this win.
Certainly, it is Tongan to Eden Hazard. Hazard dribbling his way through. Flashes of what we know that he can be on his day. Here is De Bruyne to Eden Hazard, twisting and turning the Belgian captain into Kevin De Bruyne, looking for a deft touch to find Yuri Tillemans. Will lose out, but Axel Witsel is coming. A bit of a spine to the Belgian midfield, as it were. Axel Witsel and the Danes are being matched in their own game as at the moment.
That's exactly, the Danes had the control of it in the first half, and that was what it was. Make sure you don't allow Belgium control of the midfield, because they've got good midfielders who could create something. Break that midfield, break the Dendaka, and whatever it is Yannick Carrasco or Tillemans was going to do, and they did that perfectly well. And Belgium had to react. It didn't work in the first half. They had to react. They had to do something, and that's exactly what they've done. They've broken that hegemony that was held by the Dane side, and they've made sure they've made things more difficult.
Yeah. And it looks as if Kasper Holman, the coach of Denmark, will himself be summoning players from his own benches. Substitution imminent. We'll confirm them for you in just a moment. As it is Norjart, the Brentford man, coming in for Yusuf Poulsen. It is number 20 off for number 15. Also Jens Stryger making his way into the pitch, but Maley can attack for Denmark. Maley is running up against Thomas Meunier. Meunier will block. Delaney recovers the ball for Belgium. For Denmark, I should say. It's Delaney at the edge of the Belgian area. Here is Domgaard. Domgaard into Delaney. Back to number 14, Domgaard. It's a clever dummy sold. Wasn't quite bought by the Belgians.
Game, maybe because of the elements ago, if he did get crowded, so I think it was quite strange. Vance playing a much better second half, so maybe they need more something more robust in this second, fresher, so they can also match the freshness that's been injected into the Danish, into the Belgian side.
Well, strange decision by Holmans, and Vance is being arguably the best player so far, but he's had his time. His coach has seen enough and has tried to try something different by bringing on Jans Stryger. Interesting as it's where we will see how Jans himself, 30 years of age, coming on for his 37th cap for his country, has only scored twice, and will be hoping that third will come in this game to give them victory over the Belgians, who are in control of the ball at the moment. Delaney back to Jan Vertonghen. Urgency has coming to the game of the Belgians now, as Toby Alderweireld is way off his natural position in defence, pushing deep into the half of the pitch belonging to the kick after a ball threaded through was defended by Yannick Vestergaard. There you go, against Thomas Meunier. Vestergaard went to ground just to knock it off out of play. And it's the man with masterful out of delivery, Kevin De Bruyne, straddling over to send in the corner kick. Options in Romelu Lukaku and the rest, and will he pick them out? Looked like a dangerous corner coming in from De Bruyne, but it was well managed by Denmark. Axel Witsel will keep possession for the Red Devils. Nearly giving the ball away, but De Bruyne's deft touch will take it off the feet of the racing striker. Here's Torgan Hazard, playing close to his brother now on the left-hand side of the Belgian attack. Alderweireld infield, Axel Witsel looking for Yuri Tillemans, instead picks out Torgan Hazard. Belgium taking the time on the ball at the moment. Alderweireld into Thomas Meunier, searching for Romelu Lukaku, wouldn't find him. Having a bit of a problem without bringing you up to speed with the minute change since the introduction of Kevin De Bruyne, whose brilliance has set up Torgan Hazard to level things up for the Red Devils of Belgium. 65 Denmark 1, Belgium 1, but send the ball forward as Hulman looks set to introduce some more fresh legs, giving instructions to his options on the bench. Schmeichel sends it forward. Started his career at City. Notably, but indeed, Kevin De Bruyne has misplaced the pass.
So they've got two of the back of Kevin De Bruyne. Seeing his Hazard, Kevin De Bruyne too much to show. So, but as you can see that even though these are a bit more contained now, a bit more scared, and they're a bit more worried about what the Belgians can actually conquer, and they're even stronger, trying to act stronger, at least in the defense.
Well, it was always going to be an uphill task for the Danes to keep up the intensity they had in the first throughout the 90. So what we're seeing now with Belgium asserting themselves ever more into the game, is it as a result of the Danes burning out, or their quality showing itself at the end of the day?
Right, at the same time, it's the problem that the Danes the Belgians were having in that first half, and tried to address it. The Danes have not been defensive as much as being intelligent in their play when it comes to breaking up the Belgians and the creativity and making sure that to themselves. That's one of the biggest things that Eden Hazard.
Deny, stay strong to deny Meili. Here's Domgaard, tricking his way through, and it's a possible penalty. What has referee Coopers decided? And it's booked Domgaard for trying to trick him. And NG, we're waiting for the replays to confirm whether or not Coopers is correct with that call.
I did see one of that earlier on today in the first game that was played, and the referee was very spot on with it, and he's also quite spot on with it. It's quite embarrassing, and Damsgaard hooks his leg and he just dives like he was somewhere in his swimming pool, and quite embarrassing. He did not protest, his teammates didn't protest. He knew that he was caught on a dive. I think that's the last thing players should do in this tournament, for the fact that as one, there's also VAR, let's say through wrongly, and the ref makes that call. There's always VAR to check that call.
Lukaku in space in the 18-yard box of the Danes. Vestergaard and Kea keeping eyes on him with ping his way through, sets up Yuri Tillemans. It is Kevin De Bruyne with a flash at second, ably assisted by captain Eden Hazard. What a goal that is, and his brilliant contribution since being introduced continues, and Kevin De Bruyne showing some respectable celebrations. Yes, showing respect to the Danes, of course, in reaction to the incident with Christian Eriksen.
I don't know where to start from Romelu Lukaku and the kind of footballer out of that ball. Eden Hazard, who saw Kevin De Bruyne on the right hand, and he just tipped it and tapped it to Kevin De Bruyne, who wasn't going to miss from there. But outstarting that man Lukaku, brilliant from Lukaku. He had that ball. He looked like he had lost that possession, but he made sure he kept that ball to him, passed it to Hazard. Hazard got it back to Tillemans. Tillemans dropped it for Hazard. Hazard gives it to Kevin De Bruyne, and who just sachets it into the back of the net. In the mark of respect to that man talking about Eriksen, not celebrating too much, but I can assure you that the Belgians are celebrating. Yes, they respect Eriksen, but they're celebrating. It's inspired substitution You brought in Kevin De Bruyne, you had to do so. You bring in Eden Hazard, you had to do so to create something. And right now, Real Madrid will completely plays like that. But I think you understand that when it's a national team, it's a different Eden Hazard. That's number one. Number two, a fit Eden Hazard is still a very, very good Eden Hazard. His biggest problem for Real Madrid wasn't that he couldn't play. His biggest problem that he was not fit. A fit Eden Hazard is a scary prospect for anyone on any pitch, and that's exactly what he's shown. Well, it's more even about the brilliance of this whole team. Everyone playing to the strengths. The 2 goals that have scored by this Belgium side was based on every member of that team playing to the strength. Eden Hazard playing to his own strength. He wasn't there for the first one, but this one playing to his own strength. And then you talk about Romelu Lukaku, literally playing to the strength of who he is, and then Kevin De Bruyne showing his brilliance of the kind of footballer that he is. For the Danes, it's not the time to let their heads down, but for the Danes, they still have to put work and see if they can get the goal.
Big brilliant from Eden Hazard, sweet foot to lose his mark at the pitch, and in comes Andres Cornelius for the Danes. Alderweireld spreads it down to Jan Vertonghen. Vertonghen to the younger Hazard. Vertonghen into Eden. Eden looked to sell the ball to a dummy to fit the ball into Lukaku. Belgium with an attack of their own. It's a flashback. Braithwaite punched away by Leandro Hazard giving it the chase. Hazard will win it. Hazard rampaging forward with a brilliant ball into the path of Romelu Lukaku. But for kindly for Kevin, I thought it wasn't to be. Kevin De Bruyne is having quite a lot of fun alongside Eden Hazard, and together they have looked. I think KDB released it a bit too early. He really showed all of that, all of what he was going to do to the goalkeeper Schmeichel, and that's why Schmeichel got his hands to that. But yes, he can't even exaggerated the quality of Kevin De Bruyne. There's no exaggeration of what they've brought in, and it shows you you're going to have to play against him. You're going to have to foul him most of the time to get the ball off him. Yes, in the first half, they find a lot of joy between Vestergaard and Simon Kjær, but he's shown himself in glory as Braithwaite comes forward. Braithwaite with an attempt at goal. It's totally out of very out. It's going to ground to prevent what looked like a good chance for Denmark to level matters just as we are into the last 15 minutes of the game.
It almost belies his Barcelona career, talking about a Braithwaite. It almost belies how he's played in Barcelona. He's been quite a big threat for this Dane side against Belgium, and he's just shown the Belgians that they can't even fall asleep, because it's only 2 goals. It's just a 1-goal difference, and they need to even score more goals, not sleep on the bicycle, as we like to say.
In comes the corner kick, counter attack, as Kupis has pointed to the sporting favour of the Belgians. It was Simon Kjær going up against Thibaut Courtois, and the goalkeeper has come up worse after he punched away the incoming header from the corner kick. And we see the chance again from Romelu Lukaku from Kevin De Bruyne, but execution wasn't quite top-notch as it should be.
That was also quite good from Simon Kjær. He saw that pass meant for Lukaku and was able to kill it and cut it short. I think what was like was just a bit too. He didn't get enough on it, and he fell for Kevin De Bruyne. As I said, I thought KDB should have actually taken a bit more strides, just one extra step, and maybe he would have been looking right into the iris of the goalkeeper, and he could have put it into the back of the net. So maybe he should have actually taken a bit more.
And still conversing about goalkeepers, Thibaut Courtois is still down on the turf. The medics attending to him, looking to repair him the best they can. If he is unable to continue, an interesting name is on the bench, the number 12 for Belgium. His name is Simon Mignolet, formerly of Liverpool, of course, now with Club Brugge in his home country, Belgium. Thibaut Courtois looks really hurt coming out of that challenge.
He didn't look a lot. It didn't look like it was a lot initially, but he's just had to take a bit of treatment. Maybe it's that goalkeeper thing, just trying to buy a bit more time, just maybe. But it didn't look like a lot, and he's back on his feet.
Back on his feet, all 6'7" of him, ready to launch the ball forward with his left boot. From Genk, he moved to Stamford Bridge, where he spent a couple of years playing 126 times for Chelsea. In the process as well, went on loan to Atletico Madrid, where he played 111 times. Now with Real Madrid, a total of 99 games he's had for the Spanish Giants. 85 caps for Belgium. Made his debut in the 0-0 friendly against France in the October of 2011. Thibaut Courtois. Axel Witsel.
And he's the only one who's come on the pitch that hasn't shown enough quality as the likes of Kevin De Bruyne and Eden Hazard, but still he's shown that he's good on the money, even as we see Eden Hazard showing why he is Eden Hazard.
That's very true, but sometimes might be guilty of calling too much attention to himself, especially now that you could argue he's become a bit injury prone. Is it a wise policy for the Belgium number 10 to hawk the ball as much as he is doing so far?
The problem
to watch, but
the problem is probably that's the way he is, and he doesn't know much better. He doesn't know how to play much better than that. He's just half fluent. He loves to express his football. A man who's in his 30s should be a bit wiser. Some would think not drawing that amount of fouls, but would also the fans who like to watch that kind of movement probably love to see him continue in that.
Well, let's look at the tactical deployment of Eden Hazard so far by Roberto Martinez. At Real Madrid, he is almost conscripted to the left-hand side of the attack, but here he's roaming free. Yes, and is looking quite good for it, pretty much the way he did at Chelsea. So isn't this something Real Madrid could look to employ in deploying Eden Hazard in the upcoming season to unleash his best possible form for the club?
There's a new manager, so things may change. I'm talking about what Hazard is going to do this season. There's a new manager, so he probably maybe deployed something else. He may be played as the classic number 10, or the striker behind, or the player behind the striker, or he could even be played in a 4-3-3 formation. The Ancelotti can choose to do whatever he wants to do with Eden Hazard. There's enough time to think about what he should do. For that right now, it's Belgium who are enjoying a fully fit Eden Hazard and getting the best out of him. We played a few minutes in the first leg, and that's exactly for things like this, where you bring him in and let him keep getting that form fitness, and he's shown that he just needs time to continue in his good form.
Matthias Jensen, the Brentford midfielder, picks up a yellow card for his troubles. Went in rashly against Yuri Tillemans. Belgium comfortable in possession. Torgan Hazard infield to Yuri Tillemans. Youngest Belgium ever to play the Champions League. Did it that at 16 years and a couple of days. Once voted Belgium player of the year. Talking about players playing the trade in the league at the time, Yuri Tillemans. I have to say it's good scouting by Leicester City to unearth that talent that looks a player for the future, really, Yuri Tillemans.
Leicester have also unearthed a few more talents, not just Tillemans. They've been able to pick talent here and there, good quality. Wilfred Ndidi at a point in time also was one of the best players when Ghent where he was, and almost like a steal, and he's shown his quality in Leicester. For but Tillemans, one of those questions you ask, is he just buying time in Leicester, and will he be moving to some of those bigger clubs as the seasons go? Especially if Rogers is not able to convert the quality he has in Leicester at the moment to a Champions League winning team.
Certainly his quality is quite delightful. Lots of clubs would have been watching and will be watching the Belgium number 8 throughout the Euro tournament, as Mounier dribbles his way into trouble, almost putting his team. Brilliant play, Miley. Smarrowed in full back, a ball by inches, just shows mad
moment, and probably some of them are not doing what they're supposed to do. So it's not that the game is not won until the final whistle is blown. Cliche as it sounds, that's the story of football, and then someone needs to remind them that the game is not in any way near over.
Andres Cornelius with that wonderful delivery into the box, missed just by a few inches by Martin Braithwaite. It's yet another substitution, an attacking one. Yannick Vestergaard is off, and in his place is number 7 Andres Koff Olsen, who plays for Bologna in Italy.
He's looking for goals. He needs a win. That's Denmark need a win. They lost their first game. They need goals. They need at least a draw. So he's looking for goals, and he's had to sacrifice one of his defenders to look for a goal. It's not a bad call to make. It's 7 minutes to the end of this game. Make it 6 minutes. So it's not a bad call to do. You make that change and try and see if you can get a goal. If you don't get that goal, you're already losing. So what do you have to lose except the fact that you're already losing? So that's the right call.
Denmark finding some belief, similar to what we saw in the first half. Urgency being supplied in quantum by Maley. Here's Braithwaite with a lovely cross into the box, would only find Thibaut Courtois, but good intent. It's a fabulous game he's been having, the number 9 for Denmark, Martin Braithwaite. 30 years of age, hasn't played anything like what the narrative has been about the play at Barcelona.
A good game for Braithwaite, but that ball was always going to be Courtois' ball because of the height. Braithwaite's got the height, but you know that Courtois is quite tall, and he's going to be able to get a ball as high as that.
Braithwaite could be in for more competition over at the Camp Nou. Memphis Depay announcing at a press conference yesterday that his move to Barca almost complete. As yet another ball comes into the box, it's met by Jan Vertonghen. Kevin De Bruyne will lose the ball to Jensen. Striker to Maley. It is Denmark rallying now. Here is Simon Kjær. Kjær back to Andres Christensen, who's stopping at central defence after Vestergaard was substituted in favour of Olsen. Here's Maley. Here's Olsen. Whipped and ball into the box, met by Torgan Hazard. Into Eden Hazard, who couldn't quite control. There's a brilliant chance. Might be careful not to give it away. It's Martin Braithwaite with a glancing header, and it's off the top of the bar. Brilliant header by Braithwaite. I think the biggest attacking threat for this Dane side. He was able to connect brilliantly with that ball. The goalkeeper talking about Thibaut Courtois was just a bit stranded. The ball looked like he had it covered, talking about Courtois, not covered, but it looked like it was going to go out, but somehow just he hits the upright just a few centimeters, maybe 3 centimeters lower, and it would have just skimmed off the top of the bar. Martin for the number 9. 3 minutes before the 90. Denmark seem to have found some strength to try to rescue something as the game approaches its dying embers. Here is Belgium. Eden Hazard, who finds Axel Witsel. Witsel back to Torgan Hazard. Here is Jan Vertonghen. Shifts the ball to his left foot, launches it forward, searching for the brilliant Kevin De Bruyne, who's coming into the game in the second half and supplied an assist and a fabulous goal to change the entire shape of the game for Belgium. Here's Denmark coming forward. Olsen. Here is Maley. Maley, brilliant ball into the box. It's Martin Braithwaite, and it's not going to count it. It's nodded away. Arms are up from the Danes, screaming for a possible handball. Referee might have to review that as the ball trickles away for control.
Certainly VAR reviewing that. There's no review. I will not be reviewing it, but if it continues, it means that there's nothing from that. But I think for the Belgian side, they will have to be a bit more intelligent in this. They have to play more intelligently and retain possession. Not just trying to see if they can create a chance to score the third goal, but they have to be more intelligent to create, to make sure they hold on possession. 89 minutes gone. It's a game to lose at this point, or even to drop a point. You need to make sure you hold possession. For the Danes, you have to take advantage of the chance that they've created, which is a lot.
Yes, indeed. I have been thoroughly impressed by the Danes, irrespective of what the scoreline would reach after the final whistle. They have had a good game against the formidable opponents, the highest ranked team in the world, and they might still do one better. It's flashed in by Matthias Jensen.
That was a wrong call by Jensen. He didn't have to take that strike. Yes, probably you're looking for the glory and the brilliance, but he didn't have to take that strike at that position. He could have made a better choice, maybe put up a pass or take a step or two more forward and be a bit more direct in front of the goalkeeper. He rushed it and then he flushed his lines there.
Manch with both hands on his knees. Knowing indeed that's a chance gone begging. And something that might come back to haunt them. They have Russia next. On this form, might stand a chance. The Russians haven't played badly themselves. It certainly fared worse against the Belgians, losing 3-0.
The Belgians need to see of this game. For the Danes, they're hoping that they beat the Russians and they'll have a better goal difference, and then seeing how the rest of the group plays, how the rest of the groups play out, because they're not out, they won't be out, because what it means is that mathematically they've scored 1 and considered 3, so they're on -2, so they need to beat Russia and then hope that other results in other groups works for them. But right now, it's not game over. They need to take the chances. For the Belgian side, the likes of, I know they're a bit tired as it stands, but the likes of Axel Witsel, the likes of Axel Witsel, Kevin De Bruyne, and even Hazard, including Eden Hazard also, should pass the ball amongst themselves a bit more instead of moving out of that, trying to look for Lukaku. This isn't time to look for Lukaku. This is actually the time to retain possession, hold up the play, and let the Danes look for this possession, look for the ball, and then it's a chance to create something.
A chance to create something. And it's 5 minutes of added time, of which more than a minute has been played. And it is Belgium who will be hoping that the seconds tick faster. And it is the Danes that will be hoping that things go a little bit more slowly, giving them more time to find a response to the deficit that they have as far as the scoreline is concerned. Here's Captain Keir urging them forward. Captain Keir, some great weights
in today's game. Whatever happens, as you said, I think the Danes should take a big courage from the way they've played. It's been very good performance from Vat, from Paulson, from Martin Braithwaite, and even the likes of Scholes, who just came in a few minutes ago.
Here's Kevin De Bruyne running rampage, looked to be freed up by Romelu Lukaku. Referee had his hand up indicating for offside, and yes indeed the linesman had indeed flagged. As Kasper Schmeichel is urging his team forward. All the men in red running upfield as Schmeichel will launch it. Searching for Cornelius, the Parma forward. But evades him and straight into Thibaut Courtois, who will let the ball running to touch for a goal kick. And it is in the process taking more seconds off the clock. Martin Braithwaite, the look of a man who knows that he has indeed given his best, but sometimes even your best might not be enough to achieve the desired objective.
That's why Braithwaite, but it doesn't count. It doesn't count as time wasting if the goalkeeper allows the ball to run out of play. Sadly for the team that's losing, but it doesn't count for anything. But as you said, it's had a good game. The Danes have had a good game. It's just maybe the individual quality of the players in this Belgian side that stood out. The 3 players up front, as it is, Kevin De Bruyne, Eden Hazard when he came in, and Romelu Lukaku when he was released by Kevin De Bruyne, has shown the quality they have.
The younger Hazard has committed a foul and has earned himself a yellow card. And he was up against the substitutes, the number 11, Andres Olsen. And now this perhaps would be a good chance from the set piece for one last roll of the die by Denmark. As we have seen perhaps the final substitution of the game, Thomas Vermaelen, once of Barca, once Arsenal captain, now of Vissel Kobe in Japan, comes up to show up the regard of the Belgian team. As the ball is whipped in, searching for options, Romelu Lukaku all the way back.
Schmeichel is actually out of his goal, and he's probably going to be snookered right now if Belgium can actually get it done.
Yes, indeed. Might it be a third for Belgium? It's Thomas Meunier searching for his second of the tournament. As Schmeichel, who had gone up for the set piece, was stranded all the way back in the Belgian half of the pitch, but some brilliant defending has prevented Meunier's.
It might not have been, if that goal had gone in, it's probably not exactly the quality of the Czech Republic goal a few days ago by Sheikh, but still that would have been a very, very good goal.
It's about to all end in a matter of seconds. 5 minutes of added time has indeed expired, and referee Bjorn Kuipers will in moments signal for what would indeed now be a victory for Belgium. But Belgium might still have the final say of the game as Axel Witsel is dribbling across the 18-yard area of the Danes. Tillemans loses the ball. It is Martin Braithwaite. Cornelius is, and it is a game, set and match. It is Belgium 6 points out of a possible 6, and they are on their way to the round of 16 of Euro 2020. After the first 45, they were down by a goal to nil, but inspired substitutions by Martinez has changed it. Typical in the shape and form of Kevin De Bruyne, who has come in with an assist and a goal. It has changed the entire look of the game, as it were, since his introduction.
That's the first brilliant blocker by that man talking about Ventogor. So sorry for the Alderweireld. If not, maybe would have been having a final whistle at 2 he just blocked that Martin Braithwaite shot. But Belgium have made to work very hard for all 3 points in the game. The Danes have put them through the grinder. Poulsen got that early goal, and after getting that goal, it was such brilliant performance by the Dane side in every way you look at it. But second half, as he came in, changes were made. Kevin De Bruyne came in the second half, and we know the quality that it is, and with De Bruyne coming in, and then we also had they went on to get equalizer. Eden Hazard came in and brilliant play. Lukaku did not get a goal in this game, but you would understand how good and how big his hold-up play is and help them. A bit of a slacking off by the Belgians later on, but Denmark wasn't able to take advantage of it. Good spotting behavior by the Dane fans, clapping for their players who played very well. It's been a good game, played in good spirits, not a bad spirit, no fights, nothing. Very good game, played in very good spirit. Two sides who are ready to play football, and they did exactly that. Belgium taking the day, but Denmark also playing hard, but they went on to lose.